Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hanging Out with the Carters. Unfortunately, Wills is not here, but boom, guess what I got? I got Cynthia Griffin, who is here to have a candid conversation with Denise Carter, aka her mother, and I'm super excited about it. We share a lot in common. We are very sensitive, we are very direct, and sometimes our conversations hurt. Um, I feel that
All facts.
sometimes when we have conversations, they don't often end the way we want them. And sometimes we just have to be very, very open about what we're talking about. So if you've ever had a daughter that's your youngest, the one that you care so much about and you want nothing but the best for them, and they make their decisions sometimes aren't the best for themselves. Sometimes they make the decisions, and every decision is a consequence. I've often had that before. I had a consequence where a decision that I made, and I had a child at 15. After having that child at 15, my life changed. And so we often want to make better decisions. We want our children to make better decisions for themselves so that their lives can be easier than ours. So without further ado, I want to have a candid conversation with Cynthia Griffin. Cynthia,
Hi.
good afternoon.
Hi, Mom.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, awesome. How was your day today? Let's start there.
Well, my day was good. You woke me up and told me to get up and get Trey dressed. And I was not ready for that. But I'm here. Yeah.
Why were you not ready for Trey to get
I,
up?
I think it's a little different being in California when I've been in Texas for 10 years. I haven't been, I haven't had to be responsible or responsive to you for a very long time. So,
And I get that. I
so,
get that. I get that.
so I'm like, it's a little different.
So I think 2 hours ahead of time, right? So
You gave me 30
California,
minutes. Let's
I
be
no,
real.
but 2 hours ahead of time. If you were in Texas time, it would have been
That's
literally
how you justify
yes, because early. It's early.
it.
You've only been here a couple weeks, and super happy to have you home. I'm.
I think you missed us.
I do. I'm honored that you chose to come home and spend some time with us. I really am. And I know you think that you might be a burden.
That's how
She
I feel.
thinks she's a burden, but I would rather have you here spending time in your room where you grew up, where you grew up, in hopes that your son can enjoy some of the childhood that you had. That's it.
I know that. And I think that I, I, I feel like I did him a disservice by not allowing him to be raised how I was raised because he's spoiled. And my fear is that when I leave, he's going to have a culture shock.
So, your fear that he's going to have a culture shock, meaning what?
Meaning, uh, meaning, so I talked to somebody today. They were like, when you leave, Gigi's going to whoop his ass.
I'm going to send him over to his auntie. He's going to Doris's. Spend some time with her.
Yeah. So I'm just,
I mean, if you think about it, every time he has a meltdown, you go and save him.
I do.
You do. Do you think that's the right thing to do?
No, I don't. And I actually don't like his behavior. I think I'm more just like, what what's gonna work? I don't know what's gonna work. Do you have an idea?
Yes.
What?
Um,
Get out of my way. Get out of his way.
yeah, you have to get out of his way because if you continue to reward the behavior that he does and allow it to get, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to escalate. And next thing you know, he's going to be kicking your ass.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When I was little,
Mm-hmm.
what was What was your method of operation of?
The method of operation is so interesting that you said it that way. I went to work, you went to school. Your job was to go learn. When you came home, you ate, you did your homework, and then you carried on and played. And then it was time to go to bed. Those were your jobs.
Yeah,
That was your job. My
we had
job
no
was to
tablets.
no, there were no tablets. And I think that's one of the things with the tablets and the TV and the YouTube. You have to cut it off. And when he gets in the car with me, there's no device. I'm having a conversation. I prefer that. That's my method. I think we sometimes allow the kids to have more. They have way more than we ever had,
Yeah.
you know? And I think until you start making him accountable for his behavior, meaning you're not going to save him every time. If they say, oh, come get your child at the, because he's acted out today, you don't go pick him up. Somebody else picks him up.
Noted. Okay.
And I think the reason why is because they're oh, this happened. And you're like, what happened, buddy? What happened? You want to fix it. That's
Mom,
what.
you spoil him just as much as I do.
I don't spoil them like that.
Okay.
If, and it's, I'm not here to defend or anything. I'm just here to ask questions. And we started, I don't know how we got here, but that I asked you about your day. That's what happened. Next question. So how are you feeling about being in California? Let's talk about that. Because you've been here now, what, a couple weeks?
It's actually funny. So when I was at Juneteenth, I saw maybe like 10 people I knew. And they were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, what am I doing here? And it didn't feel like I shouldn't be here, but it was more like I outgrew it. So it felt a little like I need to reprioritize like what I'm doing. That's how I felt.
And now that when you say reprioritize, what do you mean?
What is my next step? What does that look like? What do I want to do?
You know you don't have to have all the answers today, right?
And that's my problem, is that I try to rush into like the next step of figuring out how to fix everything, and I can't, because I've always tried to fix everything. And I think that, honestly, Mom, and I think it's like you've always fixed everything.
I think so. Okay, valid. I think what it was for fixing is because I was the one left in charge. So I had to take care of kids, my own kids, you and Tika. Then I had to take care of Kush, Cedric, Clint, Nessa, Claudia. And then as everybody grew up and grew away, then I had to take care of mom and dad. Like not every day, but things that they needed.
Right.
I was that one that they could count on, and they could call me, and then I made sure they had doctor's appointments or, just took care of their things. That's the role. Everyone has a role. Where do you see yourself in the role in your relationship? Yeah, there we go. In your relationship, what role did you play?
I took care of someone for a very long time. Truth be told, I took care of a lot of people that
didn't deserve it.
That didn't spot on. That didn't deserve it.
So why?
The only person that deserved it was my son, and I feel like he's taking a hit because I'm depleted.
So how do you rebuild that?
I don't know.
It's one day at a time. You can't fix it all in one day because it took, 20 years to get there, to build it up and to destroy it.
And another thing, I don't know why I did it. I don't know why. I just thought like, oh, yeah, let me help. I'm just like.
Are you still in the help phase?
I don't think so. I can't help nobody but myself right now, and I'm relying on you for a lot of it.
I mean, and you talk about relying on me, and you don't want to be a burden and things like that. Why would you feel like you're a burden? You're my youngest child.
Because I've never had to rely on you. I mean, not like that, but I think it was more like you've always known that I was okay.
Yeah.
and that's hard for me to um it's it's hard for me to deal with because I'm just like, damn, did I disappoint my mom?
No,
Literally, you're my best friend. Like, I
I,
love you.
I don't look at it as I don't look at it like that, like as a disappointment. I look at I'm not mad about the choices you made. I just don't want you to keep repeating the decisions and making the same poor choices. Because when you make poor choices, you don't learn from it. You're just repeating the same behavior.
But I'm not though. Well,
How many years did you spend in therapy?
years,
Okay. What did you learn from that?
a lot,
What did you learn
and
from
that's
that?
why she broke up with me.
She broke up with you because you learned a lot, but you didn't.
She was like, listen, if you're not gonna listen, then I can't help you.
Did you ever listen?
Yes, I listened to some, but then there's parts where I was like, but maybe this will change. Maybe this could. She said, when did you become the therapist? I was like, okay, so I'm stupid.
Because I don't think it's about being stupid. It's you believe in someone, and you believe they're going to change and do something different, and you put your trust there until you couldn't, and so now, here we are. It's nothing
And that,
like.
to
Go
your
ahead.
point of me going to where I shouldn't go, and you're like, why does why would you go there? Why would you go to Louisiana when you know it's not good for you?
You're interviewing. You're the interviewee. You go ahead, answer the question. You ask the question. That's a really good question because it made no sense. It made no sense in the sense of, you know, when you
You
start to
know,
think about, this is the one thing that got my attention. You know, you told me you're like, oh, my pancreas is not the best, and I'm like, okay. So Doris had told me the same story about Tommy Wayne. She's like, they told him about his pancreas, and that's really what got my attention. It's a serious thing, and so when people don't take their own um, stuff serious, you have to ask your question: why are you destroying yourself? Do you think that's the better alternative? And then you have someone that's so committed. So when I look and I think about where you are today, how can we get you out of your own way so that you can get back to who you were? Not per se the person that made all this money working at this company and really, really growing into yourself, but the person who can forgive yourself and say, you know what, I can take a step forward and move forward in my life and be a better person to myself. I just want you to forgive yourself. Have you ever tried looking in the mirror saying, you know what, Cynthia, I fucked up. I forgive you.
you know, it's good. That's a good question, Mom. I think that it's hard for me to look at my son and to look at you and to think what I've what I could have done.
It's not too late. That's the thing. If you stay in the past, that's depression at its best. And if you start
That's
thinking
why you
about
won't let me sleep.
no, and if you start thinking about the future, if you really think about it, think about the future. You're so far in the future, you're anxiety ridden to try to get there. You know, people are like, "Oh my God, you do so much in a day." I'm living, doing all kinds of stuff that I want to do. And it's not that any particular thing. I think what it is, we have programmed ourselves to be like, I wish I would have did this. Yeah, I wish I would have done. I wish I would have did that. But you can't go backwards.
I know that, and I'll get there. And I think part of what I want you to understand is you have to let me get there. And I know that you want to. I try to rush everything too, but I have to get through this stage to get to my next stage. And I think I'm in a pass of where, like, okay, I'm gonna be 40. I have to.
God, you look damn good for 40.
Thank you. I I think that I went through my 20s and 30s in a very great spot, and then made terrible decisions. But now I'm in a different space where I none of those things mattered. None of it mattered. None of it. Like the money, the things, the it was
The
just
houses.
the house. None of it mattered. None of that matters to me.
You're right.
I want to do something that matters to me. That's all that matters. And you know what matters to me?
What?
You.
Oh, well, you matter to me too. So the one day you called me and you said, Mom, I want to come home. I'm like, let's go. I wanted you to know that you have a safe place here. You can come home and start over anytime. I had to start over. You're not by yourself. I had to start over. And I called Dad, and it was the hardest thing to move back in. The hardest thing. Because he was hard to live with. He's like, get your ass up and clean out the refrigerator. I want Woo to do it. I want you to do it. I'm like, I pay people to do my chores. I used to always pay because I was braiding hair, but he didn't like that.
At the time, I feel like I'm living grandpa.
Oh my God, that's really horrible. I just want to wake you up to get moving. I just want to wake you up and get moving because, you know, if you lay in the bed and you start to think about all the things you should have done, it will be depressing for you. I think that you have so much to offer and you have an amazing mindset and potential to do anything. That's why I was like, come home. I got a job for you to create for yourself. Why don't you come here and help me build Denise Carter's Enterprises, the comedian.
Just let me go to jail first.
I think you know. She said, "Let me go to jail first." I think I'm glad that you're laughing about it because you need to laugh about it. We all make mistakes. I remember the first time I was drinking and driving. I thank God I didn't go to jail for it because I'd had to pay restitution.
And I don't have a
job. You know, and it's one thing at a time though. You know, it's a scary thought because, you know, you're going to walk in and clink those doors because I went into jail before. I did. And it was cold in there because it seemed like it was cement floors. And then remember, it was, this is probably like 40 years ago. And I remember there being a silver toilet. And yeah, I remember that.
Still the same.
I remember
your cousin said, when do I get a smoke break?
You get no smoke breaks.
You don't get a smoke break.
Bologna was green. Seemed like the bologna sandwich was wrapped up in white paper. I remember that. It seemed like there was some stuff they threw on a platter and it just looked different. But regardless of that, you go, you
put
do
some money
the time.
in my books.
Yeah. I'll put some money in your books. We got you. I just want you to know that you are not alone. You can pretend like you're a burden, but actually it's fun to have you run an interference between me and Will's. Actually,
I told Will, you're welcome. He said, thank you.
But I think that all in all, it's good to have you home. It's good to have you there. It's good to have Trey there. Huh?
You missed us.
We missed you. We missed you. I just want you to be. I want you to be a little more gracious to yourself. That's all.
I'm the hardest on myself, I
think. You're being hard on yourself, and yourself deserves better. So I just want you to take a moment to just say, Cynthia, I forgive you. That's it.
I don't know how.
It's just say it. You have to stop making the same mistakes over and over and over by trusting and caring about people who don't give a fuck about you. They might give a fuck about you. Don't entertain the thought.
I just get so mad because I had so much money.
Yeah. I had a whole lot of money too. I blew all the shit. All of it. I braided hair for a long time. Nessa used to come here and braid hair and make a couple $1,000s and go back home. I'm just living. And it's not too late. You start over. You start with fucking zero. You're like, okay, I got $5. $1 is going to go here. $1 is going to go here. And I'll put one in the bank. That's it. And that's how you start. It's one moment at a time.
Can I tell you something?
Nope. Sure.
You're amazing.
Oh,
No, truly. And I don't think that you give yourself enough credit. You're
thanks.
amazing.
Thank you. I think that I've spent my entire life caring about so many other people that it's just second nature for me to just be that person. My mother had the hardest life. But she told me she had electric shock treatments and she was in um, a mental hospital, and it just changed the way her life was. She still said, I did the best that I could. My dad said the same thing when he was sick. I did the best that I could. And I'm saying that to you. I did the best that I could. And you have to be able to forgive yourself so that you can move forward. Because if you keep living in the past, it's going to kill you. That's it. You don't have to be the angriest bitch in the room. You can just be a bitch. You know, I go through life every day being grateful that I get to see you and I get to talk to you
And wake me up.
and wake you up. And then I hear Trey talking about, yeah, give me a little grace.
He said that?
He said that he was mimicking you. And I give you a little grace. You just got to give yourself some grace. You deserve all things and more because of what you've been through. The traumatic experience that you experienced is something that nobody else will ever experience. And you have to be able to say, you don't have to be like the biggest bitch in the room and talk shit and tell somebody, oh, go fuck yourself. You know, you don't have to do that.
I know.
Because they already know what you've done for them. They already know what you've taken them through. So you don't have to keep reliving what, you don't have to be on the loop, right? The loop.
Yeah.
Somebody else can be on the loop. They can be on the loop all damn day. You don't have to join the fucking circus.
You're right. I hate when you make me cry.
I don't mean to make you cry. I don't want to
No.
cry because I was looking cute. Thank God I have no lashes on.
Where are your lashes anyway?
They sitting on the table somewhere.
No.
But I think,
No,
you
you're-
know, being able to sit and talk with you about, you know, decisions that we make and consequences we have to do, you know, it is what it is. And if people don't understand that, that's okay. This will help someone. Maybe it'll help you understand that you are okay. You know, I used to often say, shit, I'm glad, you know, bipolarness, it skipped my generation. Maybe it got the next one. I used to say that shit.
You're not far
I'm
off.
not far off, yeah.
No, I think this has been great. It's been, truthfully, it's been uncomfortable because I've been so used to just being in my own space. And as much as I'm grateful, I'm also grown as hell. So I need to get my shit together. So I just
So what's your first step? Getting through, what is your first step? And then we'll
getting
do,
through my birthday.
okay.
That's my first step. I can't really see past that right now because I'm fearful. Because I don't know, as much as my family has told me what it's like being there, they've never been there in Texas. Texas is a little different.
Yeah, they probably ain't got no air conditioning.
And I'm fearful, and it's like 110 degrees. So,
But look on the bright side, you can lose some weight.
you know what? And that's a wrap, folks. Shout out to us.
Shout out to us. Listen, this is one part of hanging out with the Carters.
Cynthia
having
edition.
The Cynthia edition. We've been making little podcasts for the last couple of weeks, and I'm just so grateful for Real Quick, though, for housing us and hosting us today, and we appreciate it. I just want to say, follow me on all social media, comedian Denise Carter, as well as Hanging Out with the Carters on YouTube and Spotify. I will tell you that this young lady is amazing. And I wish she can look into that camera or that camera and say, Cynthia, I forgive you for spending all your goddamn money.
You know what, Cynthia, you did your big one.
It's okay.
I forgive yourself.
I forgive yourself.
I forgive me.
God, doesn't sound so forgiving.
It's because I'm not there yet, Mom.
Okay.
Let me get there. I'm not there yet.
All right. Well, I thank you for hanging out with the Carters. This episode is brought to you by Joseph P. When my mother passed away during COVID, Joseph P. Reardon, Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Ventura, FD 883, provided everything in-house, from her dress to her services. Everything was handled with professionalism and love. I want to thank Michael and the entire team for guiding us through that moment in time that will forever live in our hearts. Because when it comes for that time, it's about celebrating a life well lived. This episode of Hanging Out with the Carters is brought to you by Joseph P. Reardon, Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Ventura, FD 883.
For more information, visit our website or call 805-643-8623.